I'm going to maybe take my first 10. So that'll put me at 702. Okay, so I'm already hitting 10 right now. Okay. So come on. This is new territory for me. I have made plenty of videos in the past. I've never traded from the 5-minute chart or any time-based chart ever, okay? Since I have started trading, I've always traded range-based. Some of my followers had actually asked me or DM me asking, is it possible to show, trading from like the 5-minute chart, okay? So I'm testing myself. I'm challenging myself today to see, is it something that I could possibly do as well? Will I do it going forward? Probably not, because I like to stick with what works best for me. But I'm just here to show you, because I state in videos all the time about trading, time-based, range, ticker volume, when it comes to supply and demand. Supply and demand is universal. So we may not see the same setups on a, say, 120 range chart, meaning it could be an area of demand or supply, and then there may be a setup on a 5-minute chart. All right, so I'm just here to let you know that whatever charts you're actually trading and you are seeding zones that are actually going to work for you, trade it. Okay, don't switch over just because I'm using something different. I trade range-based charts because they're just cleaner to the eye. I don't like to see all these big wicks and things like that. You know, you could, if you look back any given period on these charts, these big wicks kind of just don't, I don't know, visually, to me, it's just not appeasing. It's not appealing. They are signs of rejection. I will say that, like right here, the market pushed down, pulled back. It grabbed liquidity below this area and broke back to the upside. They are signs of where the market may be showing its hand or weakness to maybe want to, move in the opposite direction in the case. But for me, I'm not a fan of all the big wicking around on the charts. I like things to be clean to the eye to where I can see my setups unfold. For example here, let me show you. If I go over to 120 range chart, which I primarily trade from, yes, and today it looks like the same kind of geographical area in which the 5-minute looks like it's pulling back to is happening on the 120, but that's not always going to be the case, okay? It's just, but today we've got this breaker structure back to the upside, broke above this minor area structure. So, it's just looks the same, kind of in the same general area today. So basically, maybe that can give you some means of confluence too. I'm not sure because I don't use or I don't trade, looking for the syncing of two different charts, 120 and a 5 range, looking to see if they have the same zone set up and things of that nature. I'm not all about doing that. I'm looking for confluence based on how I trade. Now, today I'm going to be hopefully looking for a trade setup, taking it directly off of the 5-minute chart at this area of demand, just to kind of see if I can challenge myself to actually trade and, get a good setup. So I'm looking for a long entry if we pull back to, this area of demand, because we're breaking structure, an area of minor structure back to the upside. And this could be, a slight sign of reversal, meaning the market may want to try to push higher. Don't 100% know because we don't, control the markets. I'm just trading based on price action and structure. Now, the market did come down and break some structure to the left and then break some structure to the right. So we had this bearish pullback to the downside, but now we're, breaking back to the upside, taking out this first area structure here, which is minor structure back to the upside here, and slightly broke above this area here. So maybe we're going to get a pullback to this area off the 120. I already mentioned that. I put it over in our Discord, and then we get rejection off of it. So if I'm looking here off of the 5-minute, okay, again, for all those I like to trade, time-based charts, as you can see, it has the time remaining on the actual candle. I guess that's a plus for some people. For me, I like trading range. Range charts primarily are moving or tend to move because of the volume that's being printed in the market. So, the candles can close slower or quicker. But with time-based charts, you're going to get that close of a candle, every 5 minutes if we're using a 5-minute chart, okay? So again, the market's pushed down here, pull back, broke a bit of structure, wicking below this area here, and then starts to, break back above, taking out this minor area structure. On a 5-minute chart, yeah, you can see where we're just kind of breaking structure to the downside, breaking some areas to the left, and then making structure breaks continuously to the downside here. So this is a minor structural break to the upside. Now we're in between this low and this high right here. So again, it's going to be a challenge for me to see what actually takes place here. I'm primarily at this point, I'm probably, I don't have a chart that I would scale down to trade this off of. I'm just here to see if I could trade directly off the 5-minute, possibly, and look for a quick scalp. I'm looking at this area also because, yes, it'll tap into a high volume area here. There's a little low volume node in the middle of this high volume area. Maybe to come a little lower and I can look for an opportunity to go long. But as you can see, the candles are larger. Typically on a range chart, the candles are the same size pretty much. It's like, I think 12 ticks on in every, I believe it is. Let me take a double check. I'm sorry, not 12 ticks. On each candle on the range off the 120, it's like 30 points, okay? Here's a little bit different, I mean, because it's all based on, relative time. But with the time-based charts, what I'm actually seeing is that in relation to momentum and volume being printed, you can see out of each candle typically, or how much volume is in each candle. So in a sense, so you can see a lot of momentum will push to the upside, so that means a lot of volumes coming into the market off this big bullish candle right here. So now we're tapping into this 5-minute zone right here. I'm looking to see, maybe we'll get hopefully a turnaround candle here, maybe a strong bullish candle back to the upside. Don't know if I'll take it with the break and close, or maybe just a break back to the upside. So yeah, I'm just gonna see. I don't really, again, scaling down to a lower base chart and looking for an entry. I guess I could probably scale down to maybe a 2-minute or a 1-minute chart. Not 100% sure, so I'm using the volume profile to kind of give me some guidance off of this too. But again, I'm challenging myself to see if I could do this or not. I'm more likely not going to do this going forward. But people or traders that follow the community, from time to time reach out and say, take a look at the, time-based charts. Yeah, I mean, I've seen them in the past, but I just am comfortable trading with what's worked for me and what's cleaner to the eye to me, all right? Because I know on time-based charts, see all this right here, I know this could probably be a sign of support right here, all right? But look what happened. This was support, right? It was building up, and then the market just collapsed below that area of support. It didn't even break above. So that support didn't even hold. It just broke below it. So things like that, that's why I like to trade, the style and how I actually trade using multi-chart confluence. And anyone that's interested in the strategy full on how I trade, definitely watch the video content, or you can also become an elite member. And there are, with that program, or I should say with that private group or community, the elite membership for $6.99, that's where I go into detail about tons of trades that I've taken. I mean, tons and tons. We're talking about years of trade activity that have accumulated over on that private community there. And if you're interested, the link is down in the description portion of the video. Sorry, I'm trying to take a look here to see what's going on. I see a lot of volume coming into this candle here to the downside. It looks like we have a little bit over a minute and 25 seconds left on this candle to print. And we'll see what happens in the next candle, hopefully. Maybe I can get a good, strong, bullish candle to the upside and look for an opportunity to go long for a quick scalp. Now, I don't quite know where I'm going to actually get out at this point here. Maybe to fill some gaps in back to the upside. Maybe to just take a 1-to-1. I see a lot of people that trade like time-based charts. They like to take like a 1-to-1 and maybe allow the last trade to, or last, if you got multiple contracts on, what I'm trying to say, maybe take out a 1-to-1 the first contract and then allow one to trail and run for you, okay? And maybe you can aim for the high up here, which is liquidity at the tops. So now we have about 40 seconds left on this candle here. So let's see. I mean, I know a lot of people trade time-based charts. I'm not a fan of them, to be honest with you. And, but again, whatever works and has been working for you, continue to trade it. People always ask me too, what trading platform am I using? I'm using NinjaTrader 8. You can see it right here. It's in all my videos when I'm, posting trades. So let's see here what happens. So we did tap the zone. This is a high probability zone because there is a gap resting back at the zone, or imbalance, if you guys want to call it that. So I'm just waiting to see. This is I guess a lot of people would say that this is a sign of rejection. This long wick, excuse me, with the candle not closing into the zone. I talk about that on my channel too, about the market tapping the zone and then moving away from it fairly quickly back to the upside. But now we got this next candle that's coming into back to the downside with a little bit of sell volume. So again, we're kind of centrally located around this high volume area right here, which all that is accumulation. If I was to bring things back in the picture, accumulation of buying and selling activity that took place over here and to the left hand side of the chart. If I scale it back in even further, you can see more. This was where selling took place, came back, and people. Another thing too, people always like to they see is on my chart is this activity over here, this is the delta at price right here. I haven't really honed in on it 100%, but as you can see, this is in relation to the actual area of volume that we're looking at now. So if I scale in and scale out, you'll see that area. I know it's hard to see. Delta at volume actually shift just as well as volume. So this is what's more of a dynamic trading volume profile versus a static. So again, I'm trading NinjaTrader 8, and we'll see what happens here. Now, if I look at my 120 range chart, you can see we haven't even tapped into the zone yet. Okay, so I don't know which one is going to work out better. You know, if I'm going to be able to get into off the 5-minute chart a trade earlier than waiting for this pullback to the 120. But either way, you know, it is cleaner to me when I'm looking at my range charts. I just love the way they look in comparison to, you know, time-based charts. I don't have to worry about. See this area right here? See this right here? Okay. All right, if I go down to a 5-minute chart, let's see. You have all this wicking right here. So, you know, again, this type of stuff is not clean to my eyes. For me personally, again, people may see that as sign as rejection, an area of support being built up, and then maybe they look for some closure candle, maybe so. I'm not sure to go long. But again, the market was building support here, and then that support just gave out. So, okay, so we're getting a nice candle to the upside here. Again, it hasn't even tapped the 120 range zone. Let's see. I'm not sure. I'm noticing that there's a gap on this candle right here that could be filled in. So maybe the market may want to push a little lower. So I'm going to hold off right now until I see a little bit more clear picture. All right, this is the first candle or the next candle that's on the forming over the next 5 minutes. So I'm just still waiting here. Let me know if you guys, is this how you guys are trading? If you, I know a lot of you send me questions about what's, you know, comparable, comparable when it comes to range versus time-based charts. There's really no comparison, guys. I mean, because they're calculated differently bar by bar. You know, depending on the charts you actually trade, whether it's tick, volume, range, or time-based charts. But I guess in relation to, like, this is an actual demand zone. I can see that, you know, and looking at this, we broke structure above here, this mining area structure. Is this how you guys would actually trade, like a pullback coming back to this area right here? And then, you know, my approach is going to be is to look to see if I get like a bullish momentum candle to close back above. Because to me, when I look at this, I see where they took, sellers out when they basically came down here. They grabbed liquidity right here, but then they also ran back up and took out some buyers as well back to the upside. So maybe this is a turnaround point to where you know, it's taking buyers back out to the upside, breaking its structure back to the upside. Maybe this is the first, you know, they want to move back higher. That's the sign that they actually want to test higher areas. So again, if it does reject, I'm going to be looking for the break and close of a bullish candle back to the upside, and then maybe aim for, you know, this imbalance right here, okay, or this fair value gap, I should say, right here, and then see what happens. Maybe it's going to go up here to the back to the tops, or is it just going to come down here and just break through this area altogether? If it does that, then we're looking at another structure break below this area here, back to the downside, where they take out this low, okay. All right, so I see this strong bullish candle forming back to the upside, the body of it, momentum pushing back above. We came back below. This is actually a good candle in area, because we broke back below the low volume area. You guys know that, been following the channel should know that I like to look for long entries below a high volume area. So this is a major high volume area here. Looking at what took place in this area here with this swing when it broke structure back to the upside. Now the VWAP is above us, so maybe it's going to close above, not sure. But yeah, as far as, you know, the area in which it actually tapped into off of this area of demand, yeah, definitely possibly interested in this area if we get it closed. But the thing I don't like, let me see, 686. And this is a big area of, this is a demand zone. I wouldn't put my stop back here, okay? Definitely, this is a big area. I'd definitely be putting my stop below this candle right here at 21,669, okay? Not below the area of the demand zone here. That's not for me. Okay, let's see. Looks like we have about a minute and 20 seconds left on this one candle here. So how many of you actually trade, you know, time-based charts? And maybe use the same system or strategy how I trade, but use time-based charts? Leave a comment down below. I'd like to know who are my time-based traders out there. And what charts do you actually look at? Do you look at the 5-minute, maybe a 60-minute chart, or maybe you mark up 60-minute zones and then scale down to a 5-minute chart, or you mark 5-minute charts and look for lower base charts? I mean, what do you actually use when you're using time-based charts? This is my my first time actually taking a trade this way. So 25 seconds left on this candle here. I'm going to take a shot going long off of this. If it does close back to the upside with, strong close back to the upside, I'm probably going to go ahead now and get in. I think I might go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to get in because it's already kind of, okay. Yeah, I'm going to get in with another contract here. What will this give me here? 702. Oh, see, it's already hitting the area. Okay, so this was a lot of bullish momentum back to the upside here. Yeah, see, now I'm having to bring my stop up because my stop would be normally back below my entry candle. So waiting for the break and close of above this area here. So I would get in. Actually, I would get in right here, and my stop would go back here. But it's a little bit different because you're trading time-based charts versus range-based charts. So let's see what happens here. This is a tough one. So this is like a 702 to 669. I guess that's a lot of points right there. I'm not looking to take a hit like that. If it comes back, I am looking for it maybe push a little higher here. And I don't like my placement of where I got into the actual trade at, because this was a big bullish candle to the upside. And that's why I like trading range-based charts, because once they and that's the reason why I like scaling down to a lower base chart. This is where to get a more defined entry point to where I'm not having to actually, so I'm not actually having to carry as much stop loss. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to take a lot of drawdown. Like if I put my stop way back here, this is like 70. Oh, that's 30. That's 30 some points right there. Like literally, that's 70, 670, all the way back up to 60. That's 33 points right there. So I'm definitely not looking to take have a 30-point stop resting back here in this area right here. So I'm going to definitely put my stop up, and maybe let's see. This here would be still that's 10 points right there. Okay, that's comfortable. Above this candle right here, I could do that. Okay, a 10-point stop, 692 to 702.5. This could pull back. I know so. I probably want to fill this area off this gap right here to the downside. So I'm going to maybe take my first 10. So that'll put me at 702. Okay, so I'm already hitting 10 right now. Okay, so come on. I'm going to take one contract here. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and close out two contracts right here and get my 10 points off this trade. Come on. Look at it. It's hitting my 10 points. Okay, so we got filled right there. All right, so a little bit different to how I actually trade the Nasdaq in comparison to trading the off the range charts using time-based charts, but it still worked out though. It's just, it seems like to me that there could be a big fluctuation based on how strong the candles close. This is a 33-point candle right there. When I'm taking my trades normally, when I'm using my scaled down approach from a higher base or lower base, strategy, my stop is not as big because it's typically no more than 10 points. Okay, because I'm scaling down from my higher base to a lower base. So if I'm taking a trade strictly off the 5-minute chart, then my stop is going to be a lot bigger if I put it back down below this area here. I guess once the candle breaks above, we get a break and close above. I don't know. Maybe the stop needs to go. I don't know. Maybe just need to kind of scale down too. Maybe trade and look at a 2-minute or 5-minute chart to see if you can find the same thing. I state this in videos too that you could probably do that too. 5-minute setup here, demand, scale down to a 2-minute or 1-minute chart. Look for a demand zone on the inside. That way you're not having to carry that big, large stop loss, that big of a stop loss. I think that's going to come up here and test this area of liquidity resting up here the way it's looking right now and break above this area right here, or at least take it out. So it ran liquidity back to the bottom. The top side came back. Demand right here, it's probably going to run this area of liquidity back to the upside. So if you would have got in here, then 702 and taking it back up here, then that's a nice little less than, what was that, 702, 703. So you're looking at, yeah, you're looking at a lot of points right there, to be honest with you. That's like 36 points back to the upside right there. So if I look at my 120, we didn't even tap the zone yet. So so these are times like this I talk about. May not always get, you know, if something may set up on the 5 minute and it don't set up the way we want to, just leaving this gap still unfilled here back to this demand zone on the 120 range, it don't tap it and then just blast to the upside. That could happen. But one thing it did do was come down here and fill this fair value gap right here, this imbalance resting off of this candle right here, back to this candle here. So it filled that, rejected off of it so far. And maybe it's going to continue pushing higher and test some higher areas here. On the 5 minute, again, we saw that it tapped the actual demand zone off that chart. But either way, the trade worked out. It's just one of those things, taking a trade off of, you know, something like this. Yeah, it's one of those things that I would have to figure out stop losses and where to place it at. Once, you know, the candle got up in here right before it closed, I went ahead and entered, but because I saw this strong bullish candle here, but I'm not comfortable putting my stop back here, so that's why I put it back up here. And it could have came back and stopped me out, though, you know. So that's something that I guess you guys probably who trade time-based charts probably have a better understanding of how to trade those. And it's probably the same approach, just moving down to a lower base chart, say a 1 minute chart, looking to see if there's a demand zone resting on the inside to give us more confluence. So if it's a 5 minute chart here, and then you have a 1 minute demand zone resting on the inside of this 5 minute demand zone, same thing, how I, you know, kind of trade off of, you know, the 120 and the 24 range. So same approach, just as far as like what the stop loss will look like on a 1 minute, you know, once it tapped into a 5 minute zone and then the 1 minute zone, what would the stop loss look like? How many points would it be? Because this candle right here was like roughly like 33 points right there, almost 34 points. So, but I appreciate everyone for watching today's video. If you're not a current subscriber, I definitely highly recommend that you sub to the channel by clicking on the sub button or the subscribe button down below. Make sure to turn your post notifications on so you don't miss any of the YouTube videos that I post here on the platform. For anyone that is interested in becoming an elite member, again, what you receive in that package, or you know, basically it's the YouTube membership program, to where you receive from me the perks and rewards are going to be the trade breakdown videos, which there's over a year's worth of them, to where I go into detail about the setups that I take. These are trades that I posted over in the Discord community, break them down for you, talk about stop loss placement, profit target areas, market structure, just kind of let you know, the strategy as a whole so that you can take the same or look for the same similar type of setups. Also, you get the video playlist and a great video that I did covering market structure, okay? So anyone who's interested, the link is down in the description portion of the video. Click on it. 2 tiers are going to pop up. Make sure to choose the second one for $6.99 a month, and you have direct access to it, okay? Lots and lots of good information there that basically covers these trade setups that I'm taking. And if you watch that video content, you will educate yourself, okay? You don't need a mentorship unless you want to go pay for one, or $1,000 or $2,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 trading course. Like I see a lot of people buying into. I provide the components. I provide the information as surrounding how I trade, okay? And you must understand one thing. I'll say this now. Market structure is king, so please understand that. So with that said, again, there's a great market structure video, the video playlist, and tons of trade breakdown videos on there. So again, the link is down in the description. If you're interested in joining the Discord, it's free. The link is in the description as well. Outside of that, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for taking the time. Before you leave right now, please make sure to click on that like button, that thumbs up button. I would definitely appreciate it. It helps the information here in the community get out to where it needs to on the YouTube platform. Take care, and I'll see everyone in the next video.